No, sorry for the late start there. We are currently seeing the Dáil convene for a debate on the National Ambulance Service. Unfortunately, I will not be speaking during this stream as I am a minister for the Minister of State for Community, Culture and Language, which means I will be answering a lot of the questions for the government on this debate. So I will leave you with some royalty-free music to listen to whilst this is recorded. This is simply for archival purposes, as I have promised that I would record every door session, no matter how useless some people may believe they are. So yeah, apologies, bear with me for just a second. I'll get the music up in just a moment here.
escape this place. Stop time, rewind, bring me back to you. How it beat in my heart, if you only knew. What if we could stop the world tonight and run away, just you and I, you and I? Gonna stay right here forever. It's only you and I together. We don't have tomorrow, so just take me away. What if we could stop the world tonight and run away, just you and I, you bring me back to you again. Bring me back tonight. We could stop the world again. We could stop the world tonight. Feel my heartbeat, changing rhythm. Know the reason I'm still breathing. Gonna stay right here forever. It's only you and I together. We don't have tomorrow, so just take me away. What if we could stop the world tonight and run away, just you and I, you and
Listen up. We've got 3 hours to land a new tagline. What do you got? Any ideas?
eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through? For you, 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 won't you let the light shine through?
Roblox is way more fun when you have Robux, but Robux cost money.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get on my love.
go steal his loot. You have Weemod enabled, bro?
No mountains too high, no oceans too wide. I take a leap of faith for you. I touch the sky. No city's too big, no river's too deep. I cross the universe for you, my love. I would die. I don't know when the wheel lose control. Stuck in my same old place, trying to make some sense. I don't know when the wheel lose control. Stuck in my same old place, trying to make some sense.
This is not a phase, my dear. Time heals the moment, but our hearts were frozen, don't disappear. You escaped from not knowing, but I got a feeling that I'll be right here for the rest of my life. Just know that I'll give you love you'll never wanna share tonight. Tonight. But if the world isn't working the way that we found it when we were too young to love, our attention is running, 5 seconds is burning a hole in our racing hearts. I wish we could find the space, a great escape, where we could finally break the mold. If it's us that we want and we're happy after the fall, and I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. know that I'll give you love you never wanna share tonight. Tonight. But if the world isn't working the way that we found it when we were too young to love, our attention is running, 5 seconds is burning a hole in our racing hearts. I wish we could find the space, a great escape, where we could finally break the mold. If it's us that we wanted, happy after the fall, then I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all. No, no,
I think that Oshin is probably allowing for a bit of independent thought throughout his caucus on the NAS because it is something that we need and we need to reinvigorate. Let us welcome to the stage
Just
his-
the president is joining us in the studio here.
and the minister who is currently speaking in the chamber, but we'll talk to him in a minute. Ahilsa, is that the way you pronounce that?
That was actually quite
Ahilsa, yeah, well done.
very, very good,
Yeah.
actually.
You're fluent at this point.
I
Well,
wish.
Can I just add that the water here in the studio tastes very good? Is it tap or bottled?
It's Evian.
Yeah.
I love
We
Evian.
have
They're
we have a
actually
partnership there. I actually advocated for that.
they're actually
Evian.
the water of Wimbledon,
From,
by
from
the
the
way.
mountains. It's the good. We have the good water.
Sponsored by Wimbledon, and a low rate of calcium in their water, believe it or not. And don't ask how I know this. Just go along with it.
But yes, we have the good water. RTE, we can afford nice things now.
We have adult money, as Kamala
We
says.
have adult money.
How are we all? I feel
Very
I
good.
feel as though that the usual tension that that pervades the RT studio is not there. So am I correct to assume that
You are
That's
quite
fair.
correct. It's because it's just a debate today and not necessarily legislative business going on. It's kind of a more subdued vibe, which is great. I wish we could always keep it like this. But this is a debate on the National Ambulance Service, which I must say is going on 45 minutes now.
has
I
it
mean,
been
nothing like the real doll.
has-
I mean,
has there
they'd
been
they'd spend 2 hours on one question.
There has been it has been a very
Trust me, I
substantive
watch.
debate right from the time where people have raised points of order, but it has been a very substantive debate, yes, which is
this has
good.
actually been probably very one of the most efficient
Absolutely.
sittings of the doll in this.
I
current-
must also mention that we have, based on just attendance, we have 5, 6, 7, 10 deputies and the senator, the minister. It's actually very good for a debate because previous debates have only had like 3 or 4 people show up.
debates like this are usually, I would say, a time for backbenchers and for politicians we don't really know to make a name for themselves if they don't
Absolutely.
already have the tenacity to do so within the normal confines of Irish politics. So, is there anyone you're seeing that stands out in this
There's
debate?
been I did see
A few.
Verified Glory has done a lot of speaking, so I think he's a voice we don't usually hear from.
And as well, Dan as well.
And
Dan,
obviously, Dan
he's-
obviously,
this is his first foray into any legislative debate as a minister. And he is actually doing fairly well defending the NAS and the need for it, as well as the need for rebuilding the NAS. Because as I mentioned to Jeremy earlier, the last time the service was active was when Dean was your Minister for Communities and your Taoiseach, and he made it work. If you recall, Killian. But yes,
I
that
do.
is.
I said this earlier, actually. I have, as Jeremy will know, communications with the press, and they did approach me for comment. I see. I would say topics like this that aren't as intense. I'm sure we can all agree. I don't like to reach in too much because I like to think that Ireland is in a nice direction on topics like this that aren't too pertinent to my office. But I said, historically speaking, my coalition partner helped build the NAS into the service it is today. It has, however, since its rebirth in 2023 by Dean Heathcote, not received the necessary degree of care or development it deserves and requires. And then I just quite an ambiguous, intentionally ambiguous statement at the end. I said dissolution of the service should be a last resort.
And I think actually just going off, touching in with some of the debate that's been coming from primarily the government side, that seems to be their kind of perspective. They're saying, there has been constant communication, this coming from Dan now, with some of the new developers to try redefine the National Ambulance Service's role in its current form and getting them back up and running. And against the Taoiseach kind of siding with that. They don't really want to abolish them. But then again, one of the government-backed ventures, the TD for Shannon, Mr. Cathcart, came up and said that he didn't agree with the government's position and thought they should abolish it.
Was
So
he punished for that, or is he going to be punished for that, or?
I'm unsure. Is he still? He's not. He's no longer in the sitting, so he must have returned to one of his
He
parliamentary
was taken
offices
out back
in the
and shot.
chambers. I did hear a loud bang actually here in the press room here in the
Blood is
in the
slowly
hallway,
descending the stairs of Leinster House here, but
and there was
in
some
other
hurried footsteps, but I won't speculate too much. I'm sure our lovely Oireachtas staff will issue a formal statement. They'll probably address the nation, knowing them. You never know. But anyway, I digress.
You do.
Dan has spoke again. He's continuing. I think he was briefly interrupted there by the leader, Fine Gael.
But one thing I must mention,
Yeah.
Dan has an opportunity here. If he wants to pass a new NAS bill to kind of reinvigorate the service and to help with to basically update the regulations on how the NAS functions, I think he can build a coalition amongst the entire, like different parties, like peel away individual deputies from different parties and Senate area as well, because it's clear the government itself is split. Or at least government benches are split. So he can like piece together different votes from different parties
I
to
think,
at least get the 13 that he needs to pass
yeah,
any new NAS package in
and
the DAL. And in the Senate, he already controls a majority over there. So it would be easier for him to get the votes he needs on a NAS bill. But he can, what I see Dan doing, he's explaining and giving the case as to why they need to support.
yeah,
And if he wants to do this in the right way, he needs to be talking to those individual deputies who support the NAS
yeah,
and say, hey, if I do anything with the NAS, will you support this?
yeah.
So
Well,
if
And it
that,
seems
so once
also,
that division bell
yeah,
rings, he can get those votes to do it.
yeah,
do
yeah,
we think though that this coalition, well, hypothetical coalition of people who
Yeah.
want to see the NAS survive, do we think that they can actually build a consensus on what it is they want the NAS to do?
I
Because
think so.
there are a variety of interpretations of what it should do, and I
I
will
think
say
they
that it's
can.
not. Go on.
Dan can probably come to a sweet middle ground with many people because, for example, the Green Party supports the NAS. That's 6 votes right there. Labour, we realize there's at least one Labour deputy who wants the NAS. There may be more out of their 7, right?
Well, my problem here is not even with whipping. It's that, although that is definitely a concern of mine, I hate to sound like a pessimist, but I do feel that the motivating factors for TDs in what they do and don't support tend to be A, their party leaders and what their party leaders communicate, and B,
yeah,
definitely what they see in general chat and public pressure. And the
yeah,
sentiment of the public right now is that this is too much. This is too much to deal with. This is not what Ireland needs. Let's abolish it. Do you not think that that might weigh down the Oireachtas and make them less willing or less inclined to go along with Dan and his potential vision? The 10
I don't
possible.
think so because the Oireachtas has passed things against public approval before. So I don't see
Yeah.
this as any
Or-
different.
The question is, do we think we'll do it again? I suppose.
It's gonna happen. It always does. At some point, it will, because at some point, people need to realize that when a government wants something to pass, they're gonna find a way to pass it.
Well, have you?
And if
I
Dan
think
wants
something
to
that's
pass
actually
any reforms to the NAS, he will find a way to do it. Because
this
contrary to
one.
popular belief, that is really fucking smart.
This wonderful viewer though did actually DM me this, and I just want to say I completely forgot it. So this goes out to Box
And now
Squad.
Oshin is speaking. I'm sorry. He's saying, "Well, I support the NAS in every way."
Oh,
What's he say next? The
yeah. I
reality
think
is in Armagh, they're
Boiling
functionally
down to that
useless during any
functionality.
armed exchange between Crown forces and our own state forces. They simply can't respond to emergencies in those conditions. Well, the way you respond to those emergencies, oh, sorry, he said, that said, I don't believe NEA should be a main focus of this government. Well, that's why you're not in government, Oshin.
Oh.
Well,
Sorry, not sorry.
a member of development staff did tell me that development staff, which I believe personally, by the way, as in my capacity as Uchtron, are often let out of these kind of discussions.
Yeah.
He did actually inform me that development staff do have different priorities when it comes to a service like this. They're thinking of the business side of the group. They're thinking of gameplay, and I think perhaps we should incorporate them more often into discussions on public services because ultimately, um, you know, it's a weakest link kind of situation. The doll can only do so much. It's mainly
Mhm.
down to development staff.
Yeah. No, it's a good point, and I think a lot of the arguments or a lot of talking points we've seen today have been around the kind of functionality of it and how to make it functional, and maybe not hinge so much on role play. That was a point that both
I mean, there is
the Green
also the
Party and the government
possibility.
made.
There is also the possibility of potentially privatizing the ambulance service, or at least allowing companies to franchise it in the way that we currently do for the transport sector. Because then you would open up the sector to private enterprise to try to compete in a way.
I I would just love to see a union within the NAS. I would love to see. Imagine if we have
But
our own version of frontline
in order
workers.
for a union to be there, you need active staff.
I know. Well, I'm just saying down the road. God, I would never. Well, you can't really establish a union before a service is fully built. But
Right.
assuming that the service can be constructed once again from the ground up by Dan's coalition of ideas and individuals, wouldn't it be lovely if we had a healthcare union? And I know
Honestly,
William
yes.
C. Perry is in the audience, and I'm sure he will agree with me that in order to liberate the proletariat, we must stand in firm solidarity. We must collectivize.
Well, what I think Dan needs to
Sorry, can
do
I
as
quickly
well is
say,
he needs
as
to.
a very firm socialist, I perfectly agree with that. We are going to get unions in the country. We are going to make sure the ambulance is represented, but we don't have the people for it yet.
I was going to say
Um,
Dan should speak to
Order,
Dean.
just no shouting in the RT Radio 1 studio, just in a calm space.
Dan should. I
Like
think
the
Dan should
I
break.
have
speak to
incense
Dean.
going, I have candles. Okay, if we could just keep it quiet.
Listen,
Okay.
I think Dan should speak to Dean and ask Dean what he did with the NAS because Dean was the person who passed the current NAS Act and he built from that. So I think he should speak to Dean and ask what he did to make it work and try to work that for the modern day and to work with developers as well to build.
No,
No,
Dean or Heathcote.
the other Dean, yeah, to talk and see what he did to work on building from that, as well as to work with developers to give the NAS the tools that they need to be effective. Once he does that, then I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'm comforted to know that the doll has moved away from the fractured politics we saw not too long ago and is discussing real, tangible issues.
Now, you say that, but unfortunately, it seems the conversation has kind of
Oh no,
gone
don't
down
say
the
that.
route
Don't
of
say that.
has gone down the route. The Taoiseach is now defending his government and
Why
their
are you always the
successes.
bearer of bad news? Why can't you ever
Yeah, I
bring me
know.
good
It seems well. Now I know correlation doesn't equal causation, but
news?
ever since Facilio joined, it seems that this debate
Oh,
took a
stop
bit
it.
of a turn.
Oh,
Again, pure speculation, just pointing out something that's correlating doesn't mean that it's causing it. But the Taoiseach is now trying to go back to the original talking point of the National Ambulance Service. So hopefully we see a return to the debate they had. Just if you're just, I know we've seen a bit of a spike in our listeners here this evening. If you're looking for a bit of a live feed, RT is currently streaming this on their YouTube channel with some lovely music. If you wanna go look at that, but this is just some verbal commentary here. Oh, okay. Can they hear us? That's okay. Well, I mean, I like the idea of being
I mean, on
heard.
the YouTube, can they hear us on YouTube? I don't think they can. Oh no, we don't need to. You can keep
No, it's
playing the
fine.
music.
This is fine. This is fine. Oh, okay. Anyway, um,
I will say, I want to ask because I haven't been present in the chamber. Have the Green Party played a role in molding this conversation? Have
Yeah,
they?
well, I'll
Bo
tell you.
moved the debate.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Well,
what I've seen from
okay,
the
well, I should. I
vote.
did leave out
Well,
the end of my
I know
remarks.
where you're coming from, Killian, but
Yeah.
Bo kind of was encouraging their. No, I don't think the Green Party have spoken in a while. But Bo, one of the last things she said was, she encouraged leaders to start acting like leaders and not stallers. So I think that's kind of as the conversation kind of took a bit of a turn. But she wants,
Mm.
I think, more unified, proactive working together of this on improving the National Ambulance Service. I think we know, the Green Party are very pro National Ambulance Service and are happy to.
Is there a strong voice for abolition in the
There's just
chamber?
been a walkout.
By
I don't
whom?
think they're
Um,
strong.
well, I believe Oswald has
Okay,
just
we
been
now
I
have
given.
the
can.
Minister for
Sorry, I can
Communities
quickly
join.
say that there are talks of abolishment, but I think a lot of misunderstanding that's happening in the chamber right now is people think the government are looking at abolishing the NAS. This is furthest possible from the truth. We're currently exploring our options to see what we can do for the NAS before even considering something like abolishment. If it really begins to put strain on the government to the point it damages other sectors, then yes, obviously we may have to consider at least putting on the back burner for now, but we do not want to abolish the NAS at any point at this moment in time.
And as well, we must note that your senior minister, is now in the chamber. Um,
Oh, sorry, I've just been informed. Oswald has lost his seat. He received 3 strikes in the last few minutes there, and
Oh
obviously
my
that
yeah.
goodness.
constitutes a removal from
Oh, I
the
love when
Dáil.
that happens.
So
Oh.
the I will
So who's
well
going to fill the Fine Gael seat?
that's a greel question. Fine Gael only have one seat. They're only represented by one person in the chamber. Yeah. So he'll
Can I
probably
just
they'll
say,
probably do a swap. They'll probably put
of his
Donica in the Dáil seat,
of
maybe.
his last two
So,
ejections, only one of them, of his last two strikes, I should say, only one of them was for ejection. The other was actually because of two unauthorized absences.
yeah, yeah. And this one being an ejection also. So I suppose that's 2 ejections, one unauthorized absence. Excuse me. The Taoiseach speaking. He's again kind of siding with that point we talked about. Um, Looking down for all possible avenues, trying to avoiding abolishment, as Dan just pointed out to us there. Kind of just reiterating those points.
I will just say, in response to Oswald's removal as a Takhtadala, there is a God. There is a God somewhere. Absolutely, there is.
Ah! Oh,
Kamala has just
even the
announced her
most
bid for hosting the Eucharistic Congress of 2026.
even the most secular of individuals are finding a bit of consolation in Jesus today.
Who said I'm secular? Who said I'm secular?
I
I
think I
never
just saw
called
the
you
clouds
secular. I'm
part.
saying the secularists of Ireland are finding consolation in God's love today.
I think I just saw the clouds part. Maybe that's a sign. It's been a wet day all day, so maybe
There
it's
seems to
seen
be a
as sun.
miraculous divination here on my front porch. What's that about?
Oh, that's just the Tesco man. Don't be silly. He's delivering the weekly. I was speaking to Kathy
The
about it this
messages.
morning.
The messages.
Oh.
He's living the messages.
Who's speaking? Oh, a government backbencher. Lovely. Who is this?
Oh, which one?
I'm trying to discover this information now.
Can you do it quicker?
Australia, I believe.
Oh, what a great person, actually. I will say.
Seth, excuse me.
Is
So
he runs Channel 4, doesn't he?
yeah, so the TD for South Leinster, Seth is here. Is was
Yeah,
speaking there. I'll see if I
he
can.
runs Channel 4. Kai Lovetrain just said in response to Oswald's removal as a TD, was never liked, was ran out of League of Ireland.
You know it's bad when you were run out of League of Ireland.
What a
uh,
nasty thing to say. We love Oswald. But no, Seth is I will say an up and comer, very much 2020 type of politician in that he
Now
runs
he
a media
has just
company.
been asked to withdraw a word. I think he used boof head.
I
I'm not
what does
sure
that even
meaning
mean?
behind that word, but he's been asked to withdraw. He has complied with the order there to withdraw, and he's continuing now. Killian, go ahead. I'll let you know if he says anything
What are
at the
his
start.
remarks
So
about?
he's saying, while listening to some tunes, a lot of things have been said this evening, along with some chaos. I think he's being a bit more reflective of the overview progress of today's emergency sitting.
You
And
know,
he says before he gets onto the point of the debate of the NA, I think he's going to comment on there some of the disorder that we experienced. So, Killian, if you want to jump in.
oddly enough, you confused him with Australia.
Yeah.
Buffhead is actually an Australian slang term for someone with
Oh,
a big head or an
no, I
idiot.
do believe Australia was in the chamber earlier. I think he's since left, but
He's cool
um,
too. A lot of these TDs are cool. This is a nice Oireachtas, and it's diverse as well because people like Oswald get representation.
now
So
speaking of something substantial here, Seth is saying he's referring back to a point the leader of Fine Gael said, which was Ireland needs proper leadership. And I think he's pointing out the irony. Clearly, I'm not sure if you're here, but the leader of Fine Gael essentially called for a general election. Um,
I'm sorry, who called for who?
the former TD for South Leinster, sorry, Connacht, the former TD for Connacht, leader of Fine Gael, did with his Uno seat. He really experienced the Eurovision 0 points. Um, he says this. Seth is saying now, little flashback to the last one. His leadership was rejected in case he didn't realize. There, bits of his what he's saying here is being tagged, so I'm sure
It's just in
probably a bit more. But yes,
aspiring physically disabled, left wing, and known LGBT rights activist Jungle Skog fan has ejected leader Fine Gael Oswald. Not my
what an
words,
interesting title.
the words of Mediascape Ireland. Well, I like to think that this debate will produce a new generation of TDs in Ireland so that we don't have to recycle old ones who have been a minister
The old
under
ones
Michael
are
McGrath's
smelly. You
government.
know that? The old ones are smelly.
The old ones who've been in Ireland for
I
so
had
long
to.
should just
They were renovating the Shannon toilets there recently, so these the dull ones. Oh my God, you'd swear they never got Lynx Africa for Christmas. Like they didn't even try. Like it was. Oh my God, it was awful. I actually wanted to lodge a complaint with the Workplace Relations Commission.
Over the
I thought
toilets.
I would too. I would too. Get your money's worth.
I almost put a COVID mask on. Just really felt unsafe there. Frankly, I thought I should bring some of my security with me, but thankfully they didn't
You
use
can't see
BAM.
it, but I'm
They
actually
didn't use
inching
ba-
further
they
away from Jeremy in the studio right now. I'm getting a bit further away.
they didn't use BAM for the renovation of the Shannon toilets, so the construction was done pretty quickly, and public expenditure was not wasted. It did not cost €10 billion. That's a joke there to the Irish people
Okay,
for
it
the
looks
Children's
like
Hospital.
Bo is now speaking, I think, to probably close debate. I'm not sure how much longer this will be.
We'll look
Lots
in.
of jovial celebrations in the media chat, um, saying there is a God, God is good. I
All
heard
the
Oswald
time.
reference the Shannon, good luck, guys. Here, LOL, was never liked. God is real. So yeah, interesting sentiment in response to the removal of a TD. I've never quite seen this before, so
Well,
I
it's not
believe it
just any,
happened.
it's not
Actually,
any
I
TV.
vaguely remember after your your second term as Taoiseach, when that ended. I believe there were similar celebrations. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I don't know if you want to
no,
weigh in on that. That's probably still a bit raw.
far outweighed by the celebrations that took place when I was elected, Jeremy. And you will never be celebrated because
You played the hand.
you
You
are an
played the hand.
F-listed journalist who is
F listed.
probably failing as we
Did you?
speak. Actually, as a
I
matter of
got
fact,
I got listed
RTE
a
should
good.
find better presenters. We went from Dan and Puppy Dog to
Okay.
this addict. This addict.
Hey, wait, hey. We were doing very well.
I'm just crying here. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab a box of tissues if that's okay.
What kind of emotional support is offered to RT presenters that are being berated?
There's a punching bag in the staff room.
Have you ever have you ever seen those like
I'm gonna
little?
tape your face to it, Killian.
Have you ever seen?
We have a punching bag. We have a shooting range. We have what else
Have
do
So
we
you
have?
ever
when you
seen
look
those
at
like?
RT's financial reports for the year, and under other, it says 2.3 million. That's where that's
Bullets.
going.
That's for bullets.
That's
Have
for
you
bullets.
ever
Yeah,
seen those HR
I frequent the
packages?
gun
Like,
range
get well
myself.
soon HR packages, and they're like little boxes with chocolate and stationery and and soap. That's what we need to get Jeremy. One of those little get well soon HR packages.
Except RT, it's a pistol and a picture of Killian's head with a red dot on the forehead.
Oh, you're starting to sound like Kathy Griffin. Kamala, do I have to lodge a complaint here?
No.
uh, anyway, debate is closing up here in the Dáil.
That's both
Just
things.
before we go back to our original RT Radio 1 programming, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. I didn't even realize I was hosting RT Radio 1. I thought someone forgot to start the stage, so I did. And I just kind of got talking. And then here we are. I'd like to thank my
Right place, right time.
friends in the studio here, Kamala, and just Kamala. She's my only friend in the studio. And no, it's okay. I was informed midway through some of my presenting here, but we've been some loyal listeners here for RT Radio 1's coverage of this evening's session. I'd like to thank Dan for his production while trying to provide debate in the sitting. He's also been working on the production of RT's live feed, excuse me. I believe Killian's just been warned for don't disrespect Jeremy. I think that's an interesting precedent set there
This
by Shadow.
person's losing their job. Don't worry, I'm trying to sort it out. If you couldn't,
I'd
if you
also,
couldn't already hear, if you, lots
I'd
of
also
lots of
just like to
P4 going
say
on.
a bit of breaking news. I was recently appointed a Miggledy mod, a position I held for a number of years
Actually, but
before probably one of the times I rage quit Ireland. Can't really remember. Forget
who
which
made
one
you
was it.
that? Who made you
Oh,
that?
I can't remember these days. I don't really
We'll be
care either.
taking that off you. Let me
I was
just
probably no. It was
let me-
approved by
Mm.
I believe an Israeli group staff member.
APAC made you this?
Yep. He conducted an interview. I'm sure you can. Well, I don't know what your level of access is, but I'm sure you can see receipts. Um, maybe you're just a junior intern. Who knows?
I only get the coffee around here. I wouldn't know.
Oh, well, that's probably for the best.
Mm.
Yeah, so if you're just tuning into us here from RT Radio 1 live in the Dáil, we're actually just finishing up here in the Dáil Chamber. An emergency session was called by Bo, the leader of the Green Party.
Actually, Bo wanted to be brought up. Should we do that?
I think once debate formally concludes, I'd be more than happy.
Okay, Ginger.
I think that's just probably more fitting. She can
Yeah,
stop off at the media room on the way
Ginger.
back.
Yeah,
And
Ginger.
she can give us some of her thoughts. I want to give her the best
Yep,
possible chance of
Ginger.
furthering debate.
Yeah, Ginger. Yeah,
Um,
Ginger.
okay. Anyway, yeah.
Mm.
So
Ginger.
during the sitting that was originally supposed to surround the state of the National Ambulance Service, we saw one TD lose his seat, several ejected about 30 seconds in, and there was debate. There was actually very effective and very good debate, very fruitful debate on the National Ambulance Service. So I suppose there is some shining light to this. Yeah, so we're just wrapping up, I believe, or I'd like to think we were about 5 minutes ago. I wonder. Seems like
We're now 1 hour and 12 minutes in.
yeah, I know the camcorder did set a hard deadline at 1/4 past, so we will be adjourning fairly soon. It seems a lot of the TDs who were participating in the debate have returned to their parliamentary offices, or have left. Or have gone to the Dáil pub, the infamous Dáil pub, if you know, you know. But we'll see. I know that's where I'll be going. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did.
Oh, apologies. But if anyone wants to join me, I've got a credit card and I have no cent of debt. So come let me know. Backbencher Seth is now speaking. Yeah, sorry, I'm blank there, blank. Sorry, were you using me the whole time? Were you using my cameras the whole time? Oh, okay. I know I was using them, but I didn't realize. More for me.
You used to love these
Returning.
cameras, you Jeremy. You're the one that used these all the time.
Yeah, I set a number of them up now, and I lost my dev access. So there's a lot of unfinished work here. If Lewis
Mm.
Doherty's listening, and he wouldn't mind slipping me that role, I would happily add about 50 different camera angles to the
He's
chamber.
not here, and if he
Is
did
he
give you
not?
that
I'm
one,
sure
I would.
I'll pop this in an email and I'll send it to
Lewis
him.
is currently working right now, so he's busy.
Oh, don't
I've got-
use that excuse. He's been in
He,
VC while like dealing with
he's
clients.
currently sat in the chamber, Camilla. He's sat in the chamber at the moment.
That's what she meant. He's working
Okay.
at the clerk desk, right, Kamla?
Hmm.
Working. I don't see a laptop there. Is he using one of those
Well, he's
iPads?
working late because he's a singer. Anyone get the joke? Anyone?
The joke fell flat like Oswald's.
Oh.
Oswald isn't flat. He is curvy where it matters.
That's
Oswald has
inappropriate.
left the VC. That's probably why there hasn't been lots of abuse hurled at these presenters.
Oh no, he's not in the audience anymore. So now I just look like a
Again,
creep.
correlation, not equal in causation here.
Oh my god. Oswald, in response, so Eamon said there is a God, hallelujah, to Oswald being removed as a TD in the media chat. And for those who can't see it, Oswald responded, I don't know why you're celebrating this. The doll just got a bit more boring now, making your job harder.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know now if I share those adjectives and those verbs.
I don't, I'm not going to name Oswald because that's not what
I was
the
actually
president
really
should do.
enjoying the debate before he
But
showed up.
I do
Again,
feel that
correlation, not causation.
I do feel that louder voices are not always more interesting. I do feel that
Hmm.
firmer voices are not always more interesting, and that when the doll is a bit more intimate, maybe even smaller, although that is not the case now. The doll is very active, but when it's smaller and there is less presence, I find that TDs do step up to the mark, and some interesting moments are created.
It
I
appears they're
believe there
voting.
is now a vote all. Is this to adjourn? I think it's
I
to
think so.
adjourn.
I'm very confused
I'm
because
unsure.
yes, there's a vote all to adjourn, but I was the only one who said not agreed, and I can't vote here, which was kind of the joke. I'm not sure if they did
Oh,
it
not
because
agreed.
of that. But...
I think they're voting on whether to vote on whether to adjourn. I believe that's what's happening. Some more
Yeah, but like
shenanigans
it
here.
was unanimously yes. Oh no, never mind. The Green Party said no.
I'm sure our lovely clerks will provide us some clarification here in a moment.
I think maybe this is Bo's fault.
Yeah, Bo probably caused this.
Like all of it. Like
What have I received?
all of it.
But yeah, it was Bo who tried to stop. But...
Yeah, and then Bo got kicked out. Bit of an idiot, Bo.
Madame AI Count Corla. Right.
I wish Neve wasn't on holiday.
It's okay, we're here for you.
It looks like whatever they were voting on has passed, 5-2. Oh, and they have adjourned. So this concludes RT's Radio 1 broadcast of the special sitting of the doll this evening. I suppose that also concludes the live feed as well. Thanks to everyone who came and listened to the broadcast. Very much appreciated. If you watched, thank you as well, and I'm sure we'll see you all again. I think we are due to have the leader of the Green Party on for some reflections, I suppose. What you might call it.
So I will quickly end the stream here quickly. So thank you all for who's watched at home, and I mean if you want, come join the stage because there's other stuff happening here. But have a wonderful rest of your nights, and if